Good evening and welcome to Prime of Midlife. It's Wednesday night and I'm so excited. I have some really good news. Now the first good news is very personal and very childish, but oh my god, wait till you see this. I got a present and it's a blankie and it's fluffy and it's gorgeous and I just love it to bits. So thank you so much, Raquel, who very kindly sent me this. I am blown away and cannot wait to be ensconced in my chair with my cup of tea and my chocolate biscuits and my new blankie. So yes, that's number one that I'm excited about. Number two, do you remember last week when we had the shock horror that Putin had said no more transport of grain from Ukraine? He wasn't going to let the grain transport go anymore. And we all know how big a deal that is, getting the grain out of Ukraine. Certainly it's a big deal here because of prices of wheat-based products, but even more so in some of the more third world countries, like down in Africa and stuff. There's some places where it's like 90% of their food. So, or their calorie intake or something like that. But it's hugely, hugely important, and for them not to be able to get that would just be a huge deal. So thankfully, having just before I came on camera, I was looking through the headlines as you do, and I was looking at the Financial Times, and they said that Putin has now agreed again that the wheat can move. So that is for whatever reasons, I don't really care. People are going to be able to be fed, and that's the number one priority that we need to be looking at just now. So yeah, so that's good news as well. I was also looking at, well, obviously we've got, November the 3rd tomorrow. Yeah, this is not quite such good news. November the 3rd is going to be when the Bank of England tells us what the interest rate is going up to. And word on the street is that they're expecting it to go up 0.75%, which will give you a 3% interest rate. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but we had a 2.25% interest rate and people's mortgages went up to 6%, which was like £500 a month extra. So it's now going to go up to 3%. So if 2.5 was 6, then what's 3? 7? 7.5? I genuinely don't know how it works, but it's not good. It means if you have not got if you're not in the middle of a fixed rate just now, this could be quite problematic going into the next year if you are trying to get yourself a mortgage. If you have credit cards, they're also going to be hit. Anything that's got an interest payment, if you've bought a car, bought a house, anything that you're paying up. Excuse me, I thought I'd stopped coughing. I'm feeling quite a bit better just now, but obviously I still have a cough. So yeah, this interest rate is going to be a huge thing tomorrow. And it sort of made me think, how well prepared am I? I've got my blackout thing for this. I mean, don't even start me on this. We're having like war games to see how we would cope if the electricity went off for a week. I'm sorry, what? You're having a war game type thing. You're just practicing. Now, as far as I know, the previous practicing was done for a couple of days or a couple of hours in a day. And they had those, those squares with the little black boxes that showed you. And now they're looking at the power going out for a week. Why are they practicing for that if that's not part of their, oh my God, this might happen? Because I know exactly what will happen if the power goes out for a week. There will be riots. People will die. People can survive a couple of days maybe without power. Some will struggle. There will be, hopefully the electricity boards will have things in place for, respirators and stuff. But there's going to be a lot of people who are not stocked up, don't have batteries, don't have torches, don't have heating, and they're going to be on the streets. So I'd like to know, please confirm, dear Mr. Government, please confirm, what the hell are you practicing for if you don't think that that's a possibility? Because the last time you were practicing, it was for a couple of hours here and a couple of hours there for 3 days. So yeah, not quite sure what that's about, but we're not liking it at all. Just, while I'm getting that bit out there. So yes, but doing the prepping thing. And as I say, I was up at 1:30 this morning. drinking hot tea and thinking, oh, I feel so bad. And I thought, oh. And for the last few days at lunch, I've been woefully ill prepared for lunches. So what I've done, what I did at stupid o'clock this morning, was I went and got my jars of dehydrated stuff, and I was like, I'll have a cup of that, and I'll have a cup of that. So I have a cup of onions, a cup of diced carrots and turnips, a couple of lentils, all in the slow cooker with a couple of ham stock cubes. And I had lentil soup when I came in. I put it on high overnight, because, from like 1:30, till I got up, and then I put it on low till I came in at lunchtime, and oh my goodness, I was so glad I had done that. And that got me to thinking about what a difference doing this wee bit of prepping can make to you. Just to have that wee bit cushion, that if you're having a rough day, if you're feeling rubbish, if you're up at 1:30 in the morning and you've got nothing for your lunch tomorrow and you don't fancy cooking, or you've had toast for your lunch every day this week and it's getting a bit boring, things like that. And it's amazing how just having that stuff to hand can make a huge difference. And as I say, we all prep in different ways because our lives are different. But I'm pleased to say that was like a wee light bulb moment for me last night, going, I couldn't have done this if I hadn't prepped, if I hadn't dehydrated that stuff. I couldn't have done that. And I'm miles from the nearest shop. I mean, for me, making soup used to be like a 2-hour job. I had to peel and chop the carrots. I didn't have a food processor at the time. I actually remember standing grating the carrots and the turnip and the onions, to go and make this soup with the lentils. So, it was a proper thing to make soup. Whereas now it's throwing a cup of this, a cup of that. 5 minutes and my soup's on. That's a huge deal. A huge deal. So there you go. It's been a bit of a mishmash, as I'm sure you can hear in the background. It is a bit windy and wet and horrible here. So me and my new blankie, again, thank you Raquel, I'm so excited about this. Me and my new blankie are going to go and have a cup of tea and upload this to YouTube. And I will catch you later.